This episode of the Golf Guru Show is brought to you by InVeedHemp.com. As golfers, you know the game creates wear and tear on your body and mind. InVeed CBD products can organically rejuvenate you. They come in 3 varieties: Relief, Clarity, and Relax. Relief CBD products help relieve pain. Clarity allows you to focus on those critical shots. And Relax CBD products are for those anxious golf moments. Right now, I've got an incredible special for you. Go to InVeedHemp.com and use the promo code GURU20 for a 20% discount for life. So let's get to this week's episode with Will Brooks.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
You know how to cut to the core of me, Baxter. You're so wise. But like a miniature Buddha covered in hair.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1, no touching of the hair or face.
Of course.
And that's it! Now let's do this!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Golf Guru Show. I am Jason Sutton. I am the Guru, where it is my job to dissect and unpack the habits, tactics, and life lessons from successful people in all walks of life and fields of study, and share it with all of you high performers and continuous learners out there. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast, as I do it for you, and all that I ask is you share it with somebody that might benefit from the information. Also, make sure you download this episode and all the previous episodes of the Golf Guru Show, and make sure you hit that purple subscribe button so you don't miss any future podcasts that will be coming your way. My guest on this episode is Will Brooks. Will is in his junior season and is the number 1 player at Tennessee Tech University. I've got to know Will in the last few months, as he is one of my son Nicholas's teammates, and he is an incredibly talented player with a ton of game. So I was very excited to get him on the show so we could share his story with junior players and also college athletes. In this awesome conversation, Will shares his insights on his upbringing, as he is from Cookeville, Tennessee, which is where Tech is located. So he's a hometown boy, to the importance of mentoring and giving back to the program that he is dedicated to, and many more topics that I know you will enjoy. So without further delay, I bring you Mr. Will Brooks. Enjoy. All right, Will Brooks, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Guru.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming through. So you're staying the week with Casa Guru.
Casa Guru, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And,
right here.
And hanging out with Nick and doing some practicing and playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, shoot, why not get you on the mic?
Absolutely.
Right. So let's take everybody that we'll set the table, right? So
Okay.
At this point in the conversation, you are just finishing your junior fall year at Tennessee Tech. Local boy, hometown boy, and we'll kind of get into your story a little bit because I think it's fascinating. You had a pretty solid fall. Arguably the best player on the team, had a nice little fall, and gearing up for the spring. So take us back to your childhood. Like, talk about, I think your parents are a big deal in this thing, big supporters, and have a big connection to Tech as well.
Right, yeah.
So take us back, like, what were you like as a kid?
Okay,
and let's talk about that.
So childhood, multi-sport athlete, played football, basketball, baseball, golf. Kind of just went season to season, like football was fall, basketball was, winter, everything like that, and I just played everything. Just kind of honestly just an athlete, could play everything, like I said. So dad was football, played at Tech, really good receiver. Mom from Cookeville, went to Tech. Kind of fell out of love with football, which I was, like I said, pretty good at, and then started focusing on golf.
About what age was that?
That was like 7th grade. I had a coach who kind of pissed me off a little bit and decided that wasn't for me. And also I was, I'm 5'9", redheaded kid, white boy from Cookeville, so decided that, you know, maybe football wasn't it for me, but continued to play basketball, and I didn't really like baseball that much, so I quit that. But yeah, so really started digging into golf right around 8th grade year, giving it my full attention. And
Right.
yeah, kind of came up through Cookeville, and around town, Dad has some. He's a bigger person in the area, I guess you could say. So I kind of always grew up knowing a lot of people and talking to people everywhere I went. So, I kind of grew up like that. And then luckily it's turned into a really good thing going to Tech. Just, having a support system around the town. Like I said, Nick can attest.
For sure.
Going around, people.
Can't go anywhere. He talks to everybody.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah, so we got Nick on the
Go to-
pod a little bit here
go to
for
dinner.
for support.
I swear. You go to dinner and
Yeah, it's so. I mean, but
Someone's
it's
there,
it's been a blessing, honestly. Just having a lot of people, just to kind of reach you on, and so that's kind of how it's been growing up.
So talk about your mom. Like she's
yeah.
a principal, like
Mom's
influence.
a principal.
I met your parents and they're awesome, and
Yeah,
she
loved
seems
them
to
to
kind of like my household. She kind of runs things.
Absolutely, yeah. Mom's the head honcho for sure. So she's an assistant principal at Northeast Elementary School. Both parents are in the school system. Dad does Vital coordination, which is basically your online learning throughout the district, online, and then dual enrollment, which is your high school if you're wanting to take some college credits, getting that. So he does that. She does the elementary side, and also have a little sister named Hallie. She's a handful. She's in 8th grade. She plays. She's volleyball. So we kind of got a little athletic household, I guess you could say. So yeah,
She's looking to play in college. You think?
I don't know. She's in that stage. She's like I said, she's just in 8th grade, so
Yeah.
she doesn't know what she wants. She's boy crazy right now. That's all she's focused on. So
So talk about your junior golf career a little bit.
okay.
Like as you go, you start getting serious about golf.
Right,
like
yeah.
so you drop football and
drop football.
I know you played basketball.
played
like,
basketball
through high school, but
freshman year of high school.
yeah,
And then I'd have my high school coach would have me go into golf practice, and I'd be lightheaded from running all the time. So I decided I'd have to quit that and really give golf everything. So freshman year was I had a good freshman year. 14 years old, whatever. Finished like 5th in state, and that was kind of the start. It was 5th, or it was somewhere around top. It was like top 10, I think. It might not have been 5th, but So really started getting into it and kind of thinking like about going to college and whatnot. And so I started playing in just some state level stuff, TGA, whatever.
how competitive was Tennessee? I mean, it had to be pretty
Tennessee,
competitive, right?
Tennessee, yeah. We had a lot of kids. When I graduated, we had Davis Shore, Alabama, Cal Cottom, Clemson, William Nottingham, Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of just really good kids. So growing up playing, of course, I was more Nashville area. I went to more Nashville stuff, and they were more, those kids I went to were more Knoxville. But yeah. So earlier on, I didn't play with them a whole lot. But just a absolute. As a kid, competition wise.
So top 10's no joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But like I said, freshman year was good. Freshman year spring was solid. I had a few good tournaments. Almost won one, a bigger one. I forgot what it was, USJGT or something like that, or AAJGT. I think, yeah. And which is just a state level tour. But and then like I told you off this, I kind of hit a little slump. Sophomore, junior year.
So what do you think caused that? Like that's important. We talked about
that
a little bit with Nick.
Yeah.
About like how you go through down times and then how you react to that and how you recover, right? It's huge.
Yeah, well, I don't. The thing that looking back, I think I put my thumb on it was just kind of getting in that stage where sophomore year, had a car, was freshman. Growing up, I wasn't really a very social kid. Like I was always like personable and whatnot, but like I wouldn't go. I'd hang out with like the same friends, go to the whatever, but I never went parties or whatever you would so to expect. And then that car kind of came, and that changed it up a little bit. And girls, yeah, and girls. So that kind of changed, and I don't, I think I was, just wasn't as focused as you would need to be for someone who's we wanted to do what
trying to be a D1
do.
athlete.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
And so, I just kind of, and also like a little swing change. I went from, very inside out, hitting a big draw to trying to hit a more standard like draw to a cut.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so also I had the yips on the greens. I couldn't, godly, probably have like 40 putts around.
You're too young to have the yips, though, bro.
Well, it might not have been a yips, but I could, outside 30 feet, it was a crap show. Like literally, I could, I mean, 3-putt central. Ask my dad. But yeah, so so like I said, but I had glimpses, and that's kind of the thing. That's
Right.
what kind of kept me in it. You know what I'm saying?
You had coaches kind of coming around at this point?
Yeah.
Or?
I mean, I took a visit to UT Martin my sophomore year. Me and the coach really liked each other.
Mm-hmm.
Still one of the, just a really good guy. One of the best people I've ever.
Same guy as there is now.
Yeah. He's
okay.
about to phase out, but he's a great dude. But yeah, so we're getting contacts and stuff like that, and I was getting emails from places and whatever, and so I was still in it, but just really had not what I was kind of looking for.
Sure.
Same thing for junior year. Then kind of Coach Polk Brown, he kind of, we were talking a little bit here and there, and he ended up offering me probably March-ish, and like I said, still really wasn't playing to my expectations anyway, what I thought I could play to, and then we were talking earlier, committed that summer, and then after that it was just, I don't know if it was just a relief or what happened, but
took some pressure off probably, right?
I literally went from probably around 1500s in JGS, from going into close to that, going into my senior year of high school, and then by like May or early June of that year had gotten that down to like 105.
Wow. Like that's a big time.
Yeah, qualified for second stage of U.S. Open qualifying. Shot like 66 at Holston Hills, made it to Memphis, got to play with, I saw, that was it was the year it was in Wisconsin. So Steve Stricker was in Memphis. Xander Schauffele played with him, or saw practice with him. Just all these other guys, and that was probably one of the best moments golf career. Just seeing all those guys at the same tournament, playing with them. And didn't play bad. I think I shot like 1 over even like 1 over, something like that.
Still really solid.
Yeah, just didn't really. And I actually had it going. I was like 3 under through 7 for the first round. But anyway,
so how much confidence did that give you? Going forward?
It was nuts. It was crazy.
Everything else probably felt like wiffle ball, right?
The rest of that summer, man, playing in the just regular junior tournaments and amateur tournaments was. I mean, it was. I could do whatever I wanted, pretty much. Felt like anyway, but yeah. So I mean, then kicking that off into college was the biggest part, I think, for me. Having that confidence coming off into freshman year.
Did you ever think about decommitting and like going bigger?
No, not really.
I mean, not that I don't want to get you in trouble.
No.
It's like I've seen that happen to a lot of kids where
right.
they have that breakout sort of late senior season.
Yeah,
we've seen it to some of the kids that Nick came up with.
Yeah.
And then other coaches start poking around a little bit and going, "Hey, where did you come from?"
No, I was pretty content with where I wanted to go. I saw an opportunity at Tech to where I felt like I could come in and pretty much play if everything stayed the same. Where I played the way I wanted to play,
sure.
I'd be right up there. And obviously, also we brought Bracton in, which is one of my good friends has been one of my best friends for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'd be I've honestly probably would have felt bad if that would have happened for him, because I would have just kind of left him. But
sure.
No, it never. And I mean nothing solid really ever came. So it wasn't. You can maybe if something else would have happened, you maybe would have considered it. But
yeah, and once you commit, most coaches
also
right?
I'd already signed too.
Right, exactly. They'll
So,
back off and say, hey,
yeah,
he's going to wherever. But I mean, so what was your mindset like coming into Tech? I mean,
right.
I know we've spent some time together and we've talked about you sort of setting the standard.
Right,
really, and changing the culture. I mean, was that something that was on your mind?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've not one. Actually, don't know Have we won? Has Tech won OVCs as a team? I don't think we have we? No, we have. Yeah, I'm sorry, we have.
It was a while
It's been a
ago.
while though.
Yeah, it was
It's
a
been
while
since
ago.
the 90s.
Since Stallings was there,
Yeah.
probably.
No, he didn't even win it.
He didn't win it. Like,
No,
I know he was
didn't win it.
individual. The team didn't win, did it?
He
Yeah.
didn't even win individually.
Did he not?
No, he got it's actually kind of a funny story. He had
Yeah.
like a 7-shot lead and then lost it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, that's another. But yeah. So I mean, coming in, it was definitely let's see what we can do here. See if we can't. It's and kind of why like you talked to. I pretty much brought Bracton to Tech. It was
Right.
like I was in his ear the whole time, just thinking of a duo we could have, and we've done pretty well, but yeah. So it was coming in. It was definitely. Let's see if we can't change his culture and see what we can do in that regard. But yeah.
So what would you say that you've learned the most coming into college? Because I know it's a big transition.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you. I mean, I'm just guessing, like, sort of putting myself in your place. Coming from Cookeville,
Right.
everybody had probably high expectations about what you were going to do. Like, are there any stories, or is there any moments coming into like freshman and sophomore year? Because I know I've looked at your stats, and you.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing that I've seen about you is like you've gotten better like every year.
Right.
And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, like how much pressure it is to be that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then also to be able to deliver.
Yeah. I don't know if I was if there was ever a certain amount of pressure on me, but I always put pressure on myself to do
Right,
to
'cause
be
you wanna
that,
do
to
great.
be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about stories, but yeah, like coming in, after having the summer that I had, obviously
Sure.
OVC and the ranking and stuff, it kind of got in my head a little bit, and just kind of thought that I'd come in there and run the shit. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest
Yeah.
with you, like
So what was your freshman year like? I guess that's probably a better question.
Yeah. So freshman year, it had its up and downs. Like I said, coming in, thought I'd run the shit, no matter whatever, and that was 100% not the case. And I quickly found out that there was a whole hell of a lot better golfers in the OVC than I thought there was.
Yeah, it's strong.
It's a solid little conference, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and then kind of I had a decent first tournament. I think I got like top 20. Second tournament, I was leading after the first like 27 holes, and then quickly went to like T70 after a nice little 67, like 78, 79 piece. So after that, it was kind of tough, and I missed my first tournament. Well, I missed one tournament in college.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
that
say, it
was
looked like you played most of them.
Yeah, I've
Looking
only
at your stats.
missed one, qualifying wise, and then so that was probably the pivot, the turning point in my college in the freshman year for sure. Because after that, like I said, it was I didn't take that very lightly.
So was there a switch in
Yeah, absolutely.
what you did, like on the daily basis, or like how you prepared, or
It was
your
more,
practice?
yeah, absolutely. It was more of a conscience. It was just more of an effort to, like to just practice, to make sure preparation wise,
Mhm.
everything. Just not taking anything kind of for granted in sort of basis. But yeah. So after that, I played pretty solid. I got a third in the tournament. Then followed it up in the spring with a solid semester and got all conference. But yeah, so that, like I said, that was the turning point for me. Just missing that one tournament, especially it was the nicest course we were going to go to, Sapphire Valley up here up in North Carolina.
Yeah, I've been there. It's pure. It's
Oh
so
my
pure.
God.
Yep.
So yeah, and after that, it was just okay, we're here now. Let's get it going, kind of thing.
So what were your goals going forward? Do you think? Did you have? Talk about that a little bit, because I know we talked a little bit about Nick
Mm-hmm.
in his podcast about some of the things that I like that you guys do are keep really detailed stats.
Right.
You journal,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you're basically measuring your progress,
Right. Yeah.
whether it's good or bad. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
got to have some kind of idea of what's going on. So
Right.
as far as like your game goes, and specifically, and we can kind of get into, like, we've worked together a little bit the last couple of days since you've
Yeah.
been here, with your full swing and your putting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you feel like you needed to get better at, based on what you found out with your statistics, and then how did you go about getting better?
So the main thing, and especially since I started working with my coach, like swing coach Thomas Smith.
Yeah, he's done a great job, by the way. I'm not trying
Absolutely.
to replace him in any way. I'm just
no.
basically we're piggybacking on what you guys have already done and finding what he's doing with you, which is fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. So we started working together right before sophomore year. So, I told him, and it was kind of, I kind of, as I look back, and I think one of my strong points is I'm very I'm just very critical of like what so I take back and I go and I look back for instance, just at my year wise, what I do, and so I looked back freshman year and I was like, okay, what were the positives, what were the negatives, what was good, what was bad, whatever, and I just found out I found that the consistency factor wasn't there. And my good was great. My A game was really good, but that whenever I didn't have that A game, it was like there was a pretty good drop off.
Big gap.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what whenever I started off with him, first lesson I said, he asked me, the famous teacher, like, what are you bad at, or what's the weakest part of your game?
Sure.
And I just looked at him. I said, I was like, I don't think I have a weakness. I said, I just need to be more consistent in every aspect of the game.
That's a great answer, too.
Yeah. And I said, like, I told him the exact same thing. My good is really good. Like, I feel like whenever I'm playing that A game, I can compete with just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but whenever that's not there, it's like, how do I get those 76s to the 73s? How, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
And so that's kind of what we touched on, and we just really just started work. We digged into how I practiced, what I did, and kind of tweaked a few swing things to where and he kind of taught me more about the whole side of the swing that I, didn't really know or thought I knew but didn't. And so we just kind of cleaned some things up and just pieced it together from there, and it's been, absolutely phenomenal. Just working on short game, just everything like that, and that was more the biggest thing. Like where can we get those strokes back? And we kind of found out that I was more towards the chipping / putting aspect, and
right,
just kind of drill work, and more or less it was more confidence based stuff is what we found too.
So how do you gain confidence?
You just got to believe in your. I guess that's the key everybody's looking for. How do you get that confidence?
It's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
Yeah, it really is.
I think for me, it just comes in just preparation work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you can actually step up on the tee and look at your competitors in the eye and say, like, I've prepared better than you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that's a great lead into like how do you prepare, right? So think about what you just said, which was great. So it's like what does a typical practice session look for you? Like for the listeners out there,
Okay.
I mean we're talking to. Obviously there's a lot of coaches listening to this, but there's coaches that are working with juniors, and hopefully they'll share this podcast with some juniors out there. It's like what does that look like, right? What specifically are you doing to get better at your putting short game?
Yeah.
And I know Coach Brown puts together practices for you, but
right.
I think probably more, and we talked about this the last few days, is what are you doing on your own that's giving you a competitive edge?
Right. So, I think, and I really feel it's just you have to find what specific personally, like what the person does best. And
Nice, Nick.
yeah, that's very good. But yeah, so I found that I just like to play. So I play as much as I possibly can, but also,
do you have some games on the course? Do you play,
Yeah,
or is there some things that you do? And I think it's a great point. I don't mean to interrupt you,
No.
but I think there's two types of players,
right?
And I've found them from the kids that I work with or the pros that I work with. Some do great at sort of block practice, working on the range a lot, working on specific drills.
Yeah.
And then others don't respond very well to that, and they just like to go play. So they do stuff on the course.
Right.
And I think a blend of that is really, really good. And so just play, like when people say, well, I just play a lot, I think that's another great form of you preparing for tournaments. So what does that look like to you? Did you do anything different?
Well, no, not really. It was more, it's just kind of, like I said, preparation wise, is that we're talking about preparation?
Yeah,
for a
sure.
tournament. Okay.
Yeah, like what?
So-
like how did you improve?
Okay.
How did you
yeah.
steadily improve getting
So like
to where you're
I
now?
so basically what I tried to do, especially sophomore year in, is I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play until I felt like I had everything squared away putting wise on the range.
So whatever you thought was good on the range,
whatever,
the putting green.
I couldn't stand going on the course and my swing not feeling like, or I didn't feel like I was.
Yeah.
My swing
so
wasn't
that's
good.
the entire other side of it.
Right. Yeah. And so like I said, there's two. I have both. So like that's what that I'll do that, and then after that, once I feel like that's good, that's the only thing I do. I'll just play.
Just go play and
I'll just play. I'll get like so for preparation wise for tournaments, I'll start whatever a week or so before or however long or whatever, like actually preparing. The first 2 or 3 days I'll be on the range. It'll start range, short game, whatever. I'll start wedges through probably about pitch and wedge and just hit like 2 or 3 bags of balls a day or just how long, not necessarily bags, but just until I feel like, okay, cool, I'm good. And then I'll leave or do whatever, go putt, whatever. The next day it'll get up to like 6-7 iron, whatever. Same sort of. And always have 2 putting drills I do.
What are
And
those?
So the Jordan Spieth like alignment rod on the toe of the ball, like, and then do a gate drill out of that. Just put the alignment rod, put the toe, and make sure you're not like outside, or it helps alignment wise.
On the outside of the putter.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
on the toe.
It's a podcast. It's not a video.
You're right. Yeah, I can't talk with my hands.
That's okay.
Don't worry, I can see you.
Thanks, buddy. Then I'll put that into a gate drill, and then alignment rod with my feet too. Get my feet kind of parallel with my start lines, and then I'll do that, and then put a gate drill for the ball about a foot out, and then I'll do just the 4 balls around the hole, like Phil Mickelson kind of drill, and there's other stuff like that. But as
Compass
far as
drill.
yeah, as far as like stroke wise stuff like that, that's mainly the stuff that I do. And then so yeah, it'll just kind of progress up from there until I feel, I get to the driver and everything's good. And then I'll literally just, if I'm at the course, I'll warm up, go play as much as I possibly can. And then like I said, how
do you add pressure to your practice, like when you're on the course? Is that your games you play with, like the guys on the team?
Sure, yeah.
I know that's a part of it.
That's never really been a problem for me. Like I go play, like I don't just. It's not like I just go jack around. You know what I mean? So that's never really been an issue. My course is very easy. The course we play at for school. Course record's 56. Sorry. So
It's
basically, I'm the whole time. Every time I go out there, especially in the summer, every time I'm trying to play, I'm trying to shoot 59. That's my big score. I've shot 60 like 3 times. Shot 61 on. I've been 9 under on 15T at par 5 and hit it out of bounds like 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of the goal, but that's never really the pressure part's never been an issue. Or it'll just getting somebody else to go play, may or may not be playing for a little cash, just kind of stuff like that.
Sure.
Can or can't confirm, but yeah. So
We definitely don't play for cash.
no. Yeah. So yeah, but that's pretty much that's kind of how it looks for me.
Any questions, Nick? Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed like this first semester, I'd be like, well, you want to go play? And he's like, no, we're going to hit balls today. He doesn't, we don't really go out that much and play, but that's kind of what I've noticed so far. You don't normally, you like to hit balls. I mean, granted, the Eagle's not that hard.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of value to that, because I know when we visited, we were looking at that.
It helps you. It helps you go low.
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
For
I
sure.
think there's it's kind of like when I take some of my juniors out and let's go play the red tees today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's something in that mindset of like learning to make a lot of birdies.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's a nice mix, because you guys play other courses as well that are tougher, but I think I don't think it's also good to play 7,600 yards every day and shoot 80 and feel like you're beating your head against the wall, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, there's definitely got to be. I mean, there's definitely got to be a mix there. Like, it's been really good for me growing up like that at that golf course. It's a good golf course. There's the condition wise, it's fine. There's it's not anything crazy, but like just really learning how to take it take it deep. Is
Sure.
something that some kids don't get, but the good ones you see, obviously they've kind of figured that out from wherever they play at. But like that's been a huge.
I would agree with that.
I pride that golf course for a lot for me, just because a lot of different stuff that it's taken me through my junior career.
And I think bringing Nick back into it, it's been obviously we're just coming at it from a freshman perspective because he just started his first semester, but it's been great. And I told him, and not that this doesn't mean anything towards you, but I said, like, go find the best player and like hang out with him. It's kind of like going on tour, right? Every single you can open that up. Go ahead. Every single tour player, you may not hear it or not. There you go. Every mini tour player that I teach, they always ask me for advice, and I'm like, okay, well, go find the best. Don't go hang out with kids that like don't make cuts.
Right. Exactly.
Go hang out with kids that are winning, or go hang out with the best putters. And you guys just happen to connect.
Yeah.
Like the first day, I dropped them off, and like you guys kind of hit it off. But I'm like, you've been such a great mentor to Nick so far. I mean, talk a little bit about that. And did you have that when you came in as a freshman, and like how important that is? Because it's a team event here, right? I mean,
absolutely.
You want to be great as an individual, but it's also a team score, and the chemistry I think is very, very important.
Sure.
And it's been great to see what you've done for Nick.
Yeah. So for me, yes, I did. A senior on our team, I had two seniors actually that were really, really good. Alexander Riddle, and then AJ Wilkerson, and I kind of gravitated toward Alex a little bit. He was more of a frat kind of guy, just like a loose, just a really good, a fun person to hang around with. So we and we had a lot of, but also he was a very like dedicated. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of learned how to go about like how to do college, I guess.
Right.
Him.
Yeah.
And AJ was more of your just kind of leader. He was the captain, and he was the you're gonna do what you need to do while you're here, but after that, then you can have your fun.
Sure.
And coming off from those two guys, it was definitely a really good situation to be in. Alex was still probably one of my good friends till this day, and AJ, I don't see him too much, but yeah. So I mean, we definitely had that.
Because Riddle's still like on campus now, right? Is that the
no,
kid?
No.
Different kid.
He's he actually tried to play for a year or two.
Yeah,
and
that's
he just now stopped. But he's he actually dates one of the girls, so we still see him. Quite
Occasionally, yeah.
But yeah, so and what was Nick's question? What was that?
No, that was it. I was just like about the team chemistry.
Yeah, it's massive.
The importance of like in embracing the mentor role.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I mean, you're not like a senior yet, but still, you're still, I think, the leader of the team.
Yeah.
Being the best player. So it's kind of, you have that, and you could easily just not do that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can you got two choices. I think is to be selfish or be
Absolutely.
a team guy, and you're obviously a team guy.
No, yeah, that's and that's I mean, that's something that I like to do, because I like to see friends get the best out of themselves, and I'm more of a kind of lead by example kind of guy. But if you come to me, I'll answer any question you want, and that's kind of what I told Nick and even Bryce. Beeler, I tried to take him under my wing last year too, because I see and it's not necessarily everybody, I'd say, but I see some, especially the people who I see, like I feel like they have, what it takes to be really good.
Mentoring is a two-way street.
Yeah,
they have to be receptive.
They have to want to.
Exactly.
They have to want to be mentored, and then to do anything. So. Bryce was like that. Nick was like that. Nick's not afraid to ask questions, and that's something that I like.
I think I asked you a question before I even committed.
Yeah, you did.
Over DM, yeah.
He did. He DM'd me over on Instagram before he came to visit, and he told me this week that I was a douchebag for what I said. But we're gonna. I said I don't think I was, but anyway. Yeah. So it's. I enjoy it. It's something that I enjoy, like I said, because I like to see people get the best out of themselves. And also, you know, just like you said, you know, them wanting to be.
Yeah,
You
they
know
have
what
to
I'm saying?
reach out,
It's
right?
something
Yeah.
that, you know, you take. You know, I like that feeling of people like coming up to me and asking me questions. It makes me feel good too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But yeah, so
I got some. I mean, I'm gonna say some things.
Yeah.
In between.
Give me
But,
some questions.
I got some questions from some of our teammates.
okay, God, this is
Oh,
gonna
wow.
be good. This is gonna be nice.
I've had them text me a few. Starting with Sean.
Oh, no.
Sean wants to know: would you rather spend the rest of your life blind
Okay.
or stuck in an Olive Garden?
Stuck in a Olive Garden. You kidding me?
That's what I was. I
Yeah,
said the
dude.
same thing.
Pasta's my favorite.
Yeah, and Chance would like to know what's something more scarier than 3 back-to-back-to-back-to-back shanks on a range pre-round.
On a range pre-round?
Pre-round.
What's scarier?
That's 4 shanks.
Yeah, probably 4 shanks. 4 to 5 shanks. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
What's scarier than 4?
What's
4 shanks
scarier
in a
than
row?
4 shanks?
Not knowing what's going on.
Definitely walk at like traffic and you
Yeah.
just step on the T. Actually, I don't know if honestly that'd probably be better. I don't know if there's anything worse than 4 shanks back to back to back right before you go to the T.
Or I mean, late to tea time would be bad.
Late to the T time. Well, but then
Yeah.
again, you don't have 4 shanks though.
Yeah,
4 shanks messes with the head.
that's true. That's true.
So I don't know.
True.
Chance is probably the only one that's had 4 shanks.
Have you-
before he
have-
walks
have
out.
you
Yeah,
ever-
and he's probably shot even par after that.
He probably
To be
has,
completely
yeah.
all right.
I've watched him warm up. I can
Yeah.
attest to that.
Yeah,
With his like mellow yellow
with his
7-Eleven Red
running
Bull,
back- his
only
his
hits
pre-bang.
only hits 10 balls before the round.
10 balls
and he's got
pre-bang.
like 12 cups of
Warms-
coffee
yeah.
going
Yeah.
to his reins.
Warms
Yeah.
up 20 minutes before the turn. Yeah.
And,
shout out to Joel Damon. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever like shanked one on purpose just to make it look like you're playing bad?
No, but I definitely have missed about a 6-footer on purpose for a bogey on the first hole just so I wouldn't be so nervous.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Dude, I'm telling you, my like sophomore junior year, bro, I was absolutely like I would be shaking over putts sometimes just because I was so nervous. Like I'd like
And that would calm you down, missing one?
yeah, just like because I've always had that fear of like
'Cause-
messing up. So
'cause-
I'm just like okay, well,
'cause
you
Joel
bogey the
Dan-
first
Why don't,
hole,
why don't we
what the
mess up
hell?
on the first hole
Exactly,
and then we're
yeah.
going for 17 more?
Joel always said that if he could shank it on purpose, then he felt like he could hit it in the middle of the face on
Yeah,
purpose.
I mean sure.
Yeah, he
absolutely.
did that at the Wells last year.
Just little things you
Like,
do
in
In front of
psychologically.
everybody.
He's in the
Everybody
last
was
group.
freaking out and stuff. That was
man,
crazy.
yeah. No, but that's for sure. That's a fact. I've 100% done that.
I
I
got
probably
some more.
shot,
Yeah,
and then I probably shot about like 67 after that, just because.
That's
I
awesome.
promise, yeah.
I love it. Give him some more.
Izzy?
Izzy. Okay.
Izzy would like to know who's your favorite girl golfer.
Oh, definitely Isabel.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is that so?
yeah.
Okay.
Or I don't know. I like
that's
Mackenzie
the answer,
too.
that's the answer she wanted.
Mackenzie's a favorite. She's so shy though.
Yeah, she's a hometown girl too.
She is a hometown girl. Mackenzie's so shy. It's just so
Cookville?
funny.
Mhm.
She's from Sparta, which is like
Okay.
15 minutes away. yeah.
Right?
And Brackton.
Oh God.
Oh,
the
geez,
the
here we
homie
go.
Brack would love to know the ideal wife.
The ideal wife.
What does the ideal wife look like for you?
Ariana Clemmer.
Yeah,
Yes.
Who's that?
that'd be a 5th-year senior.
That'd
on
be
the
a
girls'
5th year
team?
senior. That's who Riddle's dating.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, we're like best friends.
Who would be your superstar wife? Like,
superstar?
Yeah,
Like celeb?
celeb wife.
Oh God.
Who's your
Jesus.
I mean, if
Trying to
I'm going to
think.
answer, it'd be Kate Upton.
Kate?
outta
Okay. All right.
That's a good one. Or
Um,
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie's not bad.
That's a good one.
Margot
Okay.
Robbie's a good one. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Kendall Jenner.
Really?
Yes, absolutely love
Okay.
Kendall Jenner.
Going Kardashian on us. then.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
Interesting.
one more question I've got. This
Yeah.
is from Dab.
Oh God.
From Dab. I don't know if we can answer this one or not, but is our coach a weatherman?
Our coach is 100% a weatherman. Oh,
We can't-
We can
we-
confirm Mr. Polk Brown is the weatherman. Good God, he's gonna kill Dad for that one.
Yeah. Is that the like, inside joke?
Shout out
Do
Dab.
you know that story?
I do know that story.
Okay, all right,
It's a
all
good one.
You can tell it. Good.
No.
Yeah,
He'd be
Nobody,
not tell that.
nobody listens to this podcast.
He'd be very upset if he heard us tell this story.
Yeah, we can't tell that one.
I was the dumbass that asked Scott Stallings when we went to a trip about the weatherman story because he told us. So we in the junior Ryder Cup, Tennessee Junior Ryder Cup.
Mhm.
I asked him about it, or he told us something about it and wouldn't tell us the story. So we went up the end of fall, and the first question I asked was like, "Can you tell us the weatherman story?" Paul, oh, you should have seen Coach. He was red face. He was probably so pissed.
So for those of you listening, don't know, Scott Stallings, PGA Tour player, PGA Tour winner, played at Tennessee Tech
with our coach.
And on the same team as the current coach, Coach Brown. So continue. So it's that was one of my questions. Like, do you have? Because I know you guys get to spend a little time with Scott.
Yeah.
Anything that you've asked him or like learned from him other than the weatherman story? But talk about on the weather.
I can't.
Yeah, weatherman story cannot be told on the podcast.
Can't do it. Okay.
I can't tell you.
All right. But
he'd probably be very upset if I
tell
told
me.
you that
I mean,
story.
tell me about meeting Scott. Like,
yeah.
was
So
there anything?
so like Scott does. He does very well in the state of Tennessee for junior golf. He's a big influencer. Like I said, they call it the Tennessee Junior Cup, East versus West, and he puts that on. So we've known each other through that because I played in that my senior year, and then
you broke it a little bit, bro.
Yeah, shut up.
All right.
So we got to know each other a little bit from that, and then we've hung around him 4 or 5 times ever since then, and he's just we've went from telling stories about stuff on tour to advice stuff he's given us, and I think the main thing the last time
anything you can remember, like
for sure.
Yeah.
The main thing that I got from him was just the preparation stuff, just how he prepares, how his what his daily routine is, and the thing that
he's changed his body so much in the last whatever years, but I know due to a lot of health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he talked to you about
he
that.
Did, yeah.
No, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. All that stuff is mind blowing, really. From going from that to what he is now is crazy. But so and talking to him was the first time that I kind of really heard about off the golf course kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
the travel stuff, the when you practice, kind of things like that. So that was, that's kind of the things that I took away from him was, you play golf, but everything that you do isn't on the golf course. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, right. Everything he does is golf oriented, basically. Travel, whatever. So that's kind of the most, I guess the most important thing that I kind of have taken from him is, what it's like, what tour day by day life is like,
right?
Not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Did he go into specifics at all, like about his workouts and stuff? I know he's. I mean, if you follow him on Instagram, you can probably.
No, we didn't really ask him a whole lot. I don't think I asked him a whole lot about his workouts. I think it was more like he told us that he just practiced it, like practice rounds. Like he found out that he needed to just stick to the same. Like he literally gets I'm pretty sure he told us he literally gets the same practice round time every tournament he goes to.
So the time of day that he plays.
Yeah, the time of day he plays,
sure.
The amount of which leads into like this was post workout stuff too. So like he be able to get his workout in the morning, get a good lunch, rest, whatever, and then he'd play in the afternoon. I think is what he said. But it was like literally like he would fly out like the same time. Like for the tournament if he everything was permitting, and then he just practiced the same time every single day. So yeah, that that's kind of something that kind of light bulb went off in my head.
It's a great lesson. Yeah, like just trying to keep things as consistent,
right? Exactly.
In your routine as possible,
Absolutely.
which I know is difficult. With
another question I'd have.
Yeah, good.
I noticed your screensaver. It's like something that Scott wrote.
It's a person from home who wrote me a letter.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was Scott related or.
Well, it says.
Can you read it for us?
I can. Yeah, hold on.
I don't know.
It says, "Will they won't have a clue who Scott Stallings is when you're finished at TTU? Believe it, Scott who? ? And it's signed by the guy who.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody believes in you.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's like that goes back to that's just one of them of the people around Cookeville who did that. But yeah, it's nice to have for sure.
I got another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. He wants to know, if you knew you were dying tomorrow, what would your last meal be?
Man. Probably.
Mama Sutton steak.
That's definitely up there now.
Top 5 now.
Top 5, yeah. Probably spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
With mashed potatoes and gravy and green
Really?
beans. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Just a mixed mash because
Shocking.
I love mashed potatoes and gravy, but spaghetti is my favorite ever.
Didn't see that one coming.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Love spaghetti.
Definitely. You have any personal questions for him?
I mean, I know one you want me to ask would be the 4-ball. Kind of
The
like
4-ball?
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah,
walk
because
me
you had a
through
pretty
it.
big
4-ball.
win
I did.
Yeah,
last summer, right?
This summer was a good one for
Yeah.
me. Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. Share that story. Cause
Yeah. So, like, everything leading up to the summer was kind of mediocre for me in my standards. And then, I started playing. Like I said, it was when I felt like best over putting wise was too. State open, and I had a really good, a pretty good finish. Was shot 68, was 8 under, and was like T5 for the state open for the Tennessee State Open, and then had a bad last day, shot like 1 over and finished like T18.
wow.
Yeah. Followed that up with another tournament. Just feeling really good of how we were playing. I was playing, and then me and my partner Jack Usselton going to the 4-ball. We've been friends for forever. And it was on a Cherokee Golf Country Club, or I think it's Country Club in Knoxville. Yeah, so we kind of went into the week, and coach had asked, or people had asked me like, did you think you could win it? And I answered, I was like, I wasn't expecting to win.
Right. Expectations were lower.
Expectations were, we were just trying to play well. We weren't expecting to win. It just kind of, we just kind of caught fire, honestly, So we got to the first day, and I don't know if anybody's played Cherokee, it's just a phenomenal golf course. Like, just short. It's not short. It's like 67. Not a whole lot of trouble, but there's a few holes that can get you. And the greens are bent hard, like firm bent, which is my favorite. But they're very undulated. And it's like if you hit it 25 feet away from the hole, you're gonna have to figure out, like, okay, you're gonna have to, like, think about, you can't
make
just
it
putt.
2 putt.
Yeah. And so it's fun. It was more meticulous golf, and that's I really, it was something that I really enjoyed doing. But yeah, so we go through first round, and I played really well. It's so if the format, first of all, I guess, is the first 18-hole stroke play for a qualifier. Top 32 teams advance to match play. So we get off to a bad. It was funny. We were talking the night before in the hotel. Me and Jack, we were like, all right, just like, look, we'll just don't make any bogeys, and we'll be fine. Like, it's a pretty easy golf course.
Right.
It can get you, but if you can get you. First hole, we'll make a bogey. Fourth hole, we go around, and I think it's a short par 5, and we barely make birdie. Like, shaking over the putt, like 8-footer. Like, we should have.
This is best ball.
Birdie. It is best ball.
Okay,
yes. Sorry, yeah. And so we're kind of sitting there, like, through 5 holes, we're 1 under, and we're like, oh God, because like I said, it's a decently easy golf course.
Yeah, so you feel like you're behind already.
And then so I kind of caught fire. I think I shot 7 under on my own ball, and we finished 8, and we finished like second or something, like T2, whatever. Got in and had a shaky first match. We won like 2-1 against some of Jack's Belmont buddies. He goes to Belmont, plays at Belmont, which
in
is
your conference,
which is in the OC, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we played we kind of lucked out a little bit with who we played in the second round. They were just some just average Joes who had signed up to play. But they were pretty good, but they, the field here we had was pretty stacked, and so we should have beat them probably like 7-6, but we ended up beating them like 3-2 or 4-2 or something like that. Yeah. Go on, play a kid from MTSU and Vandy. That was a good one, and been really good friends with them for the whole lot of junior golf. End up waxing them
That had to feel
3 and
good.
2. That felt great. Yeah,
Bigger school.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was kind of a moment where we were like, okay, like we can do this, kind of thing. And so it just kind of went like that. We played 2 kids who were committed to Tennessee. They were freshmen coming in, who we've also been really good friends with in the semifinals. And that was definitely our toughest match. We halved 14 straight holes.
Wow.
Yes, 14 straight holes we had halved. And then they were the first to budge. We had one kid 3-putt, make a bogey, and we parred and ended up winning like 2-1. Then we played semifinal or the final match. We played team who'd won it like 2 years before that, and one kid who was their a member at Cherokee, and so we ended up playing them, and that was a tough match, and it was funny because every single round before that, we had played like absolute shit on the front nine. I mean, like maybe like even par, like barely scraped around even par. And then the back nine, I think we shot like 7 under 4 times.
Jeez.
Yeah. We literally go birdie. We'd go birdie, eagle, birdie, 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 par, eagle, or birdie or something. Just like crazy shit, just dumb stuff. And so it was a little bit of opposite there, but yeah, we ended up. That was a good match. 'Cause like I said, they were, 2 pretty well known amateur golfers in Tennessee, and we think we ended up beating them 3-1, and it was definitely a solid moment for me and Jack. But
that was like end of the summer, right?
it was right after the 4th. It was like July. It was like right after the 4th of July. Yeah.
So getting ready to go to college.
Yeah.
Not a bad way to end the summer.
It was big. Yeah. Surprisingly though, that didn't get us exempt for the state am.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to come back. I had to come up like a week and a half later to Cherokee and qualify again.
Jeez.
Yeah. Everybody, like I walked
Tennessee
in.
golf's rough, man.
It was terrible. Yeah. I walked into the qualifier and everybody was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah.
They were like, "You just want like what?" But yeah. So ended up qualifying for that and then playing one in the state. But yeah.
Any other questions there? They're big time.
Let's talk about the match tomorrow.
The match tomorrow. We're going to Quail.
Yeah.
The goo got us on Quail.
So we can talk. Yeah, and we can talk about your time spent.
Your trip here
sure.
Charlotte. How's
to Charlotte and our lesson? Like
how's
what
Charlotte treating you so far?
What? Yeah, talk about what
it's been crazy.
what you've learned, and like talk about our lesson a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So
you can be blunt.
Okay. No, I absolutely loved every bit of it. Like I said, I kind of came down, to get a little bit, because as I get older, I'm obviously going to try and play for professionally, and I see parts of my game that have to improve, and I mean, who else to come down here, get it from the goo, but
the goo,
but yeah, so like you said, and I originally thought we were just going to do a putting lesson because that's what we talked about. We said my putting sucks.
Yeah.
But so you took it
such false.
Yeah, shut up.
I think it's
we took you took me in and we kind of tweaked a little bit, got the hands more inside instead of out, and kind of after that, kind of tweaked around or fiddled around with that a little bit, and then it kind of clicked of like what you were telling me to do and like why and where I was at after just normal swing and why I needed to do this, and after that it was just full go mode. I've been peering it ever since. Literally. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah.
We haven't even got into like the really good putting stuff yet.
No, I know
so
we
much
need
time
to.
on your full swing.
Yeah, I mean it rained, so like
yeah,
it
did.
It was
a
a
little
tough
harder to get out.
It was a tough day.
Yeah,
weather-wise. So hopefully we can get out at some point and talk about, because I mean I think the biggest, and I told you even like right off the bat, even with your full swing, is like you're a great player.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been fortunate enough to watch you play enough golf this fall, just going to watch Nick play and how the college groupings are kind of set up.
Yeah,
you guys are typically
right
close.
Each other.
Yeah, you're close to one another. So I've gotten to watch. Like I'm watching you when you don't think I'm watching you, and I'm thoroughly impressed with your game.
Well, I appreciate that.
But I think more than anything is I wanted to give you confidence in the things you were doing well, and also just help you to understand why you're doing them well.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think
absolutely.
that as a player, I've worked with enough good players to
maybe growing the IQ a little bit.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's like growing your personal golf IQ, right? So I wanted him to know when he's swinging his best, why that's happening, and then how he can kind of trust that when he goes to the course, right? And then, I mean, that's all we're trying to do as coaches is with great players like yourself. I'm not trying to change your golf swing.
Right, exactly.
I just get, I mean, it wasn't anything like super, crazy off the reservation new that we were working on, but I wanted you to know why the change was important, and then what it was going to create, and then why, right? Because I mean, the player needs to know the why.
Absolutely,
that's the big part, right? So it's more about getting you to understand that, and then because I know the type of kid you are, and you're going to go and work on it, and you're going to own it, and then it's going to be amazing, right? So it's like wasn't like anything. I mean, it wasn't anything anybody else could have done, but again, it's just like structuring. Like, all right, here's what I do.
Yeah.
What happens when things go bad? Like, and that's what I ask you. Like, what's the miss that you hate?
Yeah.
And we talked about why that happens, and like, okay, well, let's just not do that anymore, right? So it's like getting you to move in another direction. So it wasn't even that big a deal. But
No.
I think what you found out with your putting, and again, we haven't gone out and done the green reading and sort of the real life stuff. We're just working on Putt Lab.
Yeah.
But if you don't leave with anything else this week, is your stroke is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a stroke issue.
I mean, you heard Max say it straight up.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
So
you
we're in the
last-
building, and Mackenzie Hughes comes in, and we're doing some stuff, and then he's like sitting there going, "Your money."
He's like, "You're filling it up, bro."
When you got a PGA Tour winner like looking at you going,
Yeah.
"Your money," that gives you a lot of confidence, right?
That was pretty nice.
Yeah. So I mean, any thoughts on any of that? Like, what have you come away with this, and anything you can share?
Yeah, like you said, just kind of that confidence is key. I don't know. Self-belief is big, in my opinion, and definitely feel like I've gotten a little bit more of that. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty critical of myself. But
that just shows me that you're the great players, or anybody that's been on this podcast and is high performers, are always going to reflect
Oh, sure, absolutely.
on themselves
wouldn't
and
have
be
it any other
critical.
way.
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, but you're not. That's not normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Not all kids are like that
Right.
at your age.
Yeah.
So that's a really, really good. That's a trait of a great player.
Mhm.
So feel good about that. But then it's like, what do you do with that information?
Right, yeah.
I think it's so important.
Right, exactly. You asking me what I'm going to
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
now?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think we talked about. I got to get into a few things like some decade stuff. I think the big key for me is just to kind of be more disciplined on the course, because I'm more of a, I grew up, like I said, the course I played, it's just hey, let's go to this flag, see how many birdies we can make. And that's just not, that's not kind of how it works, especially in tournament play. You got to kind of pick and choose. And, it's like, it's nothing bad for me personally, but it's got to, I've got to turn those no flags, like the one on 12 today.
Yeah, 12. I mean, for y'all don't know, 12
Yeah.
south, back right pin. I knew I knew you had to hit it in the middle of the green.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
just kind of messing around, telling you to go at it.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things.
Just one of those things.
You
I think that, the more discipline I get, the better I could potentially play. Just eliminating
Yeah.
the big numbers. Just eliminating the big numbers, and yeah.
And I mean,
like,
I've watched you play a lot of golf this first semester.
Yeah.
And can tell, like, you make a lot of like long putts. And
yeah.
there.
I mean, yeah.
And that's huge though for decade. I mean, you have 200 yards or whatever, and you're playing it 5 or 6 left of the flag. I mean, you're turning a hole that's not a birdie hole, and you somehow get a bonus and make a long putt.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's if you hit that spot.
You hit that spot, and then
Yeah.
you're gaining a shot on the field
Right.
just by doing
Right.
that instead of
Yeah.
turning that 30-footer from par into birdie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like you'd be
Yeah,
pretty,
and I
pretty
mean, and
deadly
think
with
about what also you got to do is we got you in a group with you and Nick
Shrimp
played
and-
with
Yeah,
one of my tour players and a kid that plays at the number one. What last year was the national
number
championship
one's-
team.
Yeah.
And I thought you asked, and you guys played together. I watched you play 10, 11 holes.
Yeah.
And then you asked a great question the other night. He's like, what's the difference between me and him?
Right.
I'm like, it's not much,
Mhm.
right? You hit the ball just as well as those guys.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
It's the stuff that's in the cracks,
Absolutely.
right, that you can't always put your finger on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like you got to figure out what that is. It's the little things like the preparation, like we talked about, and building that team around you, and then being consistent with your routine daily. I mean, it's a lot of those things that really add up to that 1% getting better that we talked about. Because I mean, that's the weird thing about golf. It really is. Because I mean, if I put you, excuse me. If I put you beside that guy on the range and had some onlookers come and look and you guys hit balls, there would be no difference. You hit the balls just as good as those guys. Like, well, which one's the kid that plays at Stanford? Which one's the kid that plays at Tech? They probably couldn't pick you guys apart. And that's comforting.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's just now
absolutely.
it's like, all right, just and the PGA Tour is filled with guys that played at Idaho State.
Yeah, for sure.
In Weber State,
Absolutely.
and like smaller D1, in mid-major colleges. It's the ones that kind of figure out all the other little stuff, and what me and Nick talk about is the golf IQ.
Absolutely, sure.
Right?
Yeah, and I mean, I noticed a little bit of it when your lesson, like you, I know. I mean, I've watched so many of your lessons about you asked that first question, like what have you been working on, or what's your miss, kind of like what do you feel in your swing, and you can tell by like the good players and the bad players because they can answer it, or the IQ wise they can answer it with a sufficient answer, But I think I don't know. I feel like it's very important.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it was tough. It was kind of a little tough for you. You were like, I don't really know.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, and usually the go-to is like, I'm a field player. Everybody's a field player.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's a field player. All we're doing as coaches is trying to connect the information or whatever you need to be trying to do with the feel.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the best players have the small, as I say, it's a big bridge. Feel and real a lot of times is a big bridge. And we're trying to shrink that bridge into the best players on tour right now. Guarantee if you ask Tiger Woods, what are you working on? That's a broad question, but that equates to this is what it feels like when I make my best golf swing.
Yeah.
And that's really what everybody's chasing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going towards.
Yeah, no, it's
without being a douchebag, kind of.
No, it's no. It's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just something like again we're trying to help.
I've seen it with so many of your lessons where people just can't really they just don't really.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They just don't really
or
get
they
what
go
you're
with
saying, or they don't know what the question is asking in a way. But I mean, like you obviously knew what the question was asking. You just didn't really know how to explain what exactly you were working on.
Because in that moment, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot I was really working on. I guess with like swings, esque. I was kind of, once I kind of get the swing that the whatever I'm trying to feel or whatever, it's just kind of like that's it.
Well, that's a lesson. Then that's the
Absolutely.
lesson right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is
Absolutely.
like whatever it is. And this is for the listeners. This is for the players. This is for your college kids. This is for your juniors. Is be cognizant of when you make that swing, whatever
Absolutely.
it is, whatever it feels like, the great contact, the ball flight you're looking for, whatever shot you're looking for, is have that awareness of what that felt like.
Right,
because you have about 7 seconds once you hit the ball to actually internalize whatever that was.
Yeah.
After that, it's gone. Then somebody asks you, like, I don't know how I did it. Like, how many times have you heard that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
they hit a shot, like, I have no clue what I did. Because they weren't paying attention to the awareness of like what their body felt like.
Yeah.
And I'm getting teacher right here, but I mean this is what we're talking about, is like basically, what does that feel like to make your ideal swing or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Instead of going, well, that was just luck, or I'm hoping I hit it good. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of stuff that's going on. That's where the best players separate themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't mean they're technical. Doesn't mean they're like thinking about positions. It just means they have a better awareness of their body and then what it feels like to do whatever,
swing the tool. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
I got another question.
Yeah. Answer.
Being from Cookeville and stuff, like you have a lot of buddies who are still in the area.
Right. Yeah.
Go to school with you and stuff. How big is that to just kind of know? I mean, I guess me going from another state and stuff, not really knowing people, but how big is that for you to like kind of get away from golf and know like
Oh yeah.
when I get back to the apartment, I got buddies there that
Yeah,
like,
my
aren't gonna talk about golf.
Yeah, you know it's
And you can
big.
kind of do your own thing.
Yeah.
with those guys.
It's massive, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, I kind of me and Braxton live together.
Yeah,
And it's kind of one of the reasons why, I moved in was just because of the way, just getting that
I guess the
mindset,
vibe,
yeah, off of golf, you know, for whenever I'm there or whatever. It's massive, yeah. You know, nobody else besides Braxton and Chance in the apartment, you know,
play golf.
golf. They, I mean, except for I guess Benton, but nobody else knows what's going on. You know, so I bring home. I come and tell them, I won the 4-ball. They're like, oh yeah, let's go, whatever. Or I come and say, oh, I finished like top 15 in December. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? No matter or whatever, you know.
Sure.
So it's nice, and you know we all have similar interests. You know, football games, whatever. We sit and watch all of them.
A lot of FIFA games.
A lot of FIFA. A lot of big FIFA. Big FIFA
soccer
matches,
guy.
A lot of big soccer guy. Yes.
Who's your favorite soccer team?
Chelsea in London. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that come about?
So 2014. It's a story. I mean,
Let's go.
Okay.
We got plenty of time.
2014 World Cup. I watched it, USA, whatever, and we had a good run. And also really like Brazil. So like I'd literally watch just about every World Cup game.
Are there certain like characteristics of teams that you'd like look for?
No, just people, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
This one dude was named William, and so it's one letter short of William, which is my actual name.
Okay.
So I kind of grasped towards that, and we played FIFA on Xbox and stuff like that. So I'd play with Brazil or whatever. I like the colors. I don't know what it was, William, whatever, and Oscar, and then David Luiz, whatever. So I followed those three guys pretty intensely, and they happened to play for Chelsea. And so that following year, I just kind of started. If I'd watch, it'd be weird. Like I'd watch, like NBC or whatever would have a game on at like noon, and I'd be sitting there and I'd be watching, and it'd be Chelsea. And so I just kind of started following it, and then it happened that they won their Premier League, whatever. That year, so ever since then I've just been a big Chelsea fan. Love soccer though. I wish I could have.
That's kind of one thing that I did not understand. You played every sport in high school or every sport in middle school, but you didn't play soccer.
I didn't play soccer. No,
and
we've
gone to the
this is the
fields,
reason.
too, a few times.
No, I love soccer. Like I go.
Like
out.
you understand the game. Obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm big
man, he's watching. He's watching. We'll be at dinner and he's sitting there on his phone. Like, what are you doing, bro? He's like on YouTube watching videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comes back to the apartment. Like, I 2 more weeks. I'm coaching the team here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no.
I love it.
I told Nick. I was like, we were watching the Tech soccer team play, and I was like, bro, I could take over right here, and
he's not wrong.
You're seeing what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you know, it's kind of the same way. Like football, I'm that way. Dad's a coach. Dad played. I'm kind of the same way. But yeah, so yeah, I just love it. I don't know.
So why didn't you ever play?
Well, it just like I said, I played football, soccer, or I played football, basketball, baseball, golf.
Pops wasn't a fan of soccer.
No, Pops was not a huge fan of soccer. He's still to this day calls it communist kickball. I swear to you, I'll be watching. I'll be sitting there. Guru's dead. I'll be sitting there.
Don't fall over, bro.
Yeah,
stand up.
I'll be sitting there to this day. I swear to you.
Yes, kickball.
Yeah. No, listen. I'll be sitting there to this day, and I'll be watching Chelsea or just a soccer. Like, I mean, any soccer game really. He'd be like, "Why are you watching communist kickball?" Mom said it the other day in the car. I was with my friend Smack. We call him Smack. His name's Jackson. Shout out Smack. We were sitting there and we were talking about soccer, and Mom said, "You are talking about communist kickball?" And I looked at him. I was like, "That's what I'm talking about." And he just started dying laughing because I told him about that. I was like, "Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I don't know. I just like other sports. I like I just kind of dig into.
Yeah, I mean we went to the fields.
Yeah,
last time
we went to the fields, slotted a few free kicks and stuff like that. Played a little bit.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of golf geometry.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
Ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. You want to hit a draw, you kick it on the inside with your foot, turn it over a little bit.
There you go. That's
you
right.
Hit a fade, hit it on the toe on the left side of the ball, hit it a little left to right.
There you go. Deep lane, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how so many things.
That's why Rory plays it.
Absolutely. All those English lads.
Except when he gets hurt.
As long as you don't get hurt, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just be careful.
For sure.
But the big question here in this podcast I want to ask is how How's the rap career going?
Oh, I was getting ready to
let's talk
get
about
to,
the rap
Getting
career.
ready to the rap career.
Shout out Nabil.
Shout out Young Swaze.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Shout
yeah,
out Little
so-
Cheeto.
Lil Cheeto. That's the rapper name.
That is my rapper name, Lil Cheeto. Yeah, it's something that we kind of do for fun, just to do it. We grew up and
When's the album dropping?
It's actually EP, right? It's
we
an
have
EP.
we are actually, and this is legit. We will probably have an EP out before New Year's.
Oh,
I don't know if it'll be out, but we probably would have already been here. But we just got a new interface, and because it was really staticky. But so go check it. If we do end up actually putting it on,
It will be on SoundCloud.
on all platforms, go check it out. But I doubt we will because we talk about some weird stuff in there. So I don't really know if I want the world to know that I do some of the things that I actually do.
That's funny.
But yeah,
So how did it? And we'll get off of the hip hop thing, but like, how did you, as such a young person, because I'm 50,
yeah,
and I love old school hip hop, and me and you listen to the same music,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
which is super cool. Like, how did that happen?
So
Who are your influences like early on?
So like I absolutely love Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is still to this
We're
day.
talking like mid 90s.
Mid 90s,
Yeah.
yeah. Snoop Dogg is still today one of my favorite rappers. I
Dr.
don't know.
Dre.
My dad, Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
yes. Big Kanye guy, old Kanye, not new Kanye, old
Yeah.
Kanye.
There you go.
I'm sorry. It's a rough one.
Yeah, shut up. I don't. Dad had always. He's a big Prince guy, big Prince, Michael
Yeah?
Jackson. Like that's
Okay.
what he listens to.
Yeah.
And so Prince is still like Prince is one of my all time like artists.
Respect.
So yeah, I just always been a huge fan of old school, just Prince, Michael Jackson, Snoop Dogg, like whatever. Big history guy as well, so that kind of plays into it too. Just like the start of like a certain aspect of
Listen
whatever.
to the documentaries
Yeah,
on Netflix.
absolutely. Like Straight Outta Compton or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like I'm big into it.
NWA.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, he's a big Snoop. Snoop was I don't know. I don't know an answer to the like. I don't know how I got into it. It's just just one day I was messing around and heard Snoop Dogg this song, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so much better than what we're playing nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, all this mumble crap we've got or whatever
Thank you.
it is, and
Thank you.
Snoop Dogg sitting there playing.
Preach.
Like seriously, like Snoop Dogg.
Pops is going crazy over here.
Like,
Preach.
Tells me this every day.
I'm telling you, like Snoop's sitting there and he's like making his little
Yeah,
like
lyrics
Snoop
and
swang,
stuff,
like
actually.
lyricist, like okay, and that's another thing. Like I'm a huge lyricist,
Yeah.
I've
like,
noticed that.
huge lyricist. Like,
Wordsmith, baby.
absolutely. Like
Yes.
I could care less about Travis Scott and his beats and his whatever. Like
Yeah.
give me
The
something.
producers are
give
like
me- give me
basically
some-
making
yeah,
the
absolutely.
artists sound better than they are.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I feel that.
Give me
Yeah.
something that like whenever I listen to it and I like actually take it in, like I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna like be on the floor laughing. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
Snoop for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like all this stuff. Like I mean, like we played whatever it was last night. Like I could sit there and listen to that all night and be like just geek. Like and like I heard it for the first time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Old soul, man.
and that's another. I'm a big old soul guy. Like I feel like I should have been born like the James Dean era or whatever.
All right. So, I mean, speaking about hip hop and stuff, what are your top 5 right now? I know I've asked you
Top
this several
5?
times.
Top 5 like
Right now, to this day,
Artists.
artists.
Yeah.
like artists
I'll
like
give you mine,
like
too.
2019
Since you have been
2019 artists or like people who I listen to
since
right
you
now.
have been born.
Okay.
Since you have been born, if you had to say, okay, I was dying tomorrow, I need to listen to 5 rappers before I
Okay.
die.
Okay.
Whether their
So
songs have
since
dropped
he's
or
been
not.
born, like but the stuff we're talking about is before he was
No,
born.
I'm saying like
Like
that
what
he's
I've
listened
listened to.
that he's
Okay,
listened
gotcha.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if you're dying
So,
tomorrow, who are you
okay.
going to listen to?
Snoop Dogg.
Okay, that's your number 1.
That's my number 1. Probably G-Eazy.
Yes, sir.
Big G-Eazy guy.
Wow.
Shout out
That's
Gerald.
kind of new, actually.
Big Gerald guy.
Love G-Eazy. I'm actually a big Migos guy.
Really?
Absolutely
So,
love
so we're
Migos.
talking newer stuff here now.
Yeah,
Just
sure,
just
sure.
anything.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
general.
yeah.
Just rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or anything. Doesn't matter.
We'll just do
I
rap.
know you're a
Yeah,
big
just
Roddy,
to
you're a
stick
big
with
Roddy
rap.
fan. Love Roddy Rich.
Yeah, he's new though. He probably I don't know.
Well,
Let's see.
G-Eazy and Migos are new.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'd have to probably go Kanye 4. Love old Kanye. And then yeah, probably Roddy Rich.
Roddy.
Love Roddy.
Tupac, Biggie, are they cracking the 5 or?
Biggie, dude.
See, like that's older stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, that's a better question. Like you got to like say
I'm
all
not
time.
See, I've never like dipped into a whole lot of Tupac.
Oh gosh.
Like I have my songs.
You
like
gotta go into
I
that.
know,
You
I
gotta
know.
dig into
I
it.
have my songs,
Yeah.
but I never dig like Biggie though. Biggie's definitely honorable
Biggie's
mention.
hard.
Biggie's the man.
Biggie's definitely honorable mention.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know it changes a lot. I mean,
It does.
people
Yeah, I
drop
mean, it's
stuff.
kind of just what I, you know. But
Just whatever
yeah,
you're
definitely
feeling, kind of the vibe.
Snoop's definitely number one, for sure. Because I don't know, just really like Snoop.
I also got another question. I'm just here.
Answer.
Lo-
bro.
You,
loading
want
up.
to know my top 5?
Just loading up. Yeah,
You
let's,
know
let's,
what
hey,
I'm-
let's hear
let's
Guru's top
Let's
5.
hear
Yeah.
the goose.
So I would say, and there's a
Run
bunch
DMC.
of Well, Run DMC's up there.
Oh, okay.
Eric B. Eric
There's
B.
no way that's in your top 5.
Eric B.
I
and
know,
Rakim.
yeah,
Rakim's
Eric B.
my favorite.
Okay.
I thought he was just the
That's respect,
he was
actually.
the man. Guru from Gangstar, got to be up there.
Okay.
God, there's so many.
What about Warren G?
Warren G.
G's
Yeah,
so
Warren,
good,
yeah,
dude,
Warren G.
yeah.
And
Corrupt.
Nate
Oh.
Dogg.
Nate Dogg. Yeah.
I know,
But,
you're a big Eminem, Dre.
Yeah, I mean Eminem, obviously
Eminem's
Beastie
definitely
Boys, but I
Okay.
mean it's just
Beastie
like,
Boys,
oh,
alright.
yeah, Beastie Boys, respect.
All right, so you got
Who we were talking about like last night?
KSI.
Yeah, KRS-One,
yeah.
yeah, like Boogie Down Productions.
Yeah.
That like changed the game. I think.
Yeah.
You know, definitely KRS. God, there's so many. Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah, you love them. What about nowadays rappers?
Nowadays, like it's like I'm more into the hybrid stuff now.
No,
like,
just straight up nowadays rapper. Doesn't matter if they're mumble or not. I know you're a big
Yeah.
Travis Scott guy.
yeah, I mean I like Travis Scott, A Boogie with the hoodie.
Yeah.
You like A Boogie?
Yeah, like I would call them hybrids.
Yeah.
These are guys that kind of sing and rap. A Boogie,
What about Hoodie? Hoodie Allen.
Hoodie Allen. Yeah, I like Hoodie Allen. I mean, all the white rappers
yeah,
are sort of the mixed boys.
I know you're a big T Grizzly.
Yeah,
You slept on.
T Grizz is the man. Golly, there's so many now that I'm trying to think. It's like you always forget like when you're on the spot. Like who do I listen to? Like you probably know.
I mean, you love you like Travis a
Yeah,
lot. You
but
like Logic.
There's
You
so
like
many.
Logic's
Yeah,
stuff.
Logic's. I think Logic is probably as good a lyricist nowadays than
Yeah.
anybody. If you get like old school rap.
Yeah.
Golly. Who else? I have to look at my playlist, man.
Yeah.
It's like there's so
All right,
many.
Will. I know we talked today on our way home, our way back, just chatting a little bit. But about your your dream, you were talking about like you'd like to have a house in Jupiter and like all that stuff. Kind of talk about that
My dream.
for those ladies out there that are trying to cuff this man when he turns pro.
Like you talking about like
Just kind of like the
What's your
setup.
goals
What's-
after
what's the-
school,
Yeah,
right?
what's the setup? What do you want? What would you like? You said something about kind of having two income levels or whatever.
Yeah. So I've always been, obviously, dream tour,
Yeah.
whatever.
Stretch goals.
being successful.
Yeah, stretch goals.
But I've always had an interest in doing other things outside of that, like whether that be just kind of like a business, like I don't know, just whatever on the business side or
Side hustle.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a acting appearance or something like that. Something
Yeah.
else that kind of gets me out there, whatever. But yeah, like I told Nick, I was, he's kind of maybe surprising for like a golfing standpoint, but like living down in Florida, whatever, doing the whole golfing hustle thing, and then I've always just wanted to have like a loft in the like downtown New York.
Yeah.
Just like a little penthouse, just loft in like
That'd be
downtown
hard.
city, and I think we both kind of had
or West Coast.
we
we both kind of want. We both
I'm
big West
definitely,
Coast guys.
I will definitely at some point in my life live on the West Coast, like California.
Yeah, I think when you're looking to be an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, especially with social media, everybody you're your own company.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's not too early to think about that.
Oh no, for sure.
When
Not.
you're in college, we were just talking about like a Carl Phillips, right? I mean, like get kids that are coming up like on YouTube and doing whatever, posting stuff like
It's a brand.
you are your own brand.
Yeah, and I that's something I really saw or learned coming up is like Morgan Hoffman, how he kind of approached things. Like he played on tour. He's obviously a freak of nature in the golf world.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has a clothing line that's gotten fairly big, and is also making money off of that too.
It's aligning yourself with
which I think
Well, I
is
mean,
people
you can only play golf or whatever
yeah,
for so
yeah.
many, for so
and
long.
I always
Right.
thought about that too when I was younger, like playing golf and then maybe designing courses when you
Yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
Jack and what Tiger's doing and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously having a clothing line would be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, just anything, man, to get more, even more exposure or whatever.
Or even
'Cause,
rapping,
yeah, or rapping, yeah, that could be something.
Not too many rapping golf pros.
Little Cheetah could be the first.
We'll see.
You never know.
See how the EP hits the iTunes.
What's the EP gonna be called again? I mean, I already know, but let the viewers know.
What did I say?
Maddox Ave, baby.
Was it Maddox Ave? That's right. Maddox Ave.
1330.
Maddox Ave EP. That's what it is. Yeah, I forgot about that. Which is okay. So viewers, Maddox Ave is where we live at 1330. Well, Maddox Avenue, and I will not tell you the city where I live in. But
if they pay
People are gonna
attention,
start
they
showing
know.
up.
They already know.
So we live in. So Maddox is what we call our little apartment
crib,
clan. Yeah. We call it Maddox Gang, and so that's what that is.
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can't. Do you have any more before we get to the final question?
I mean, I can check. I don't know. Kind of got him off.
He's hitting the social right now just to see.
I mean, I guess personally, what's the spring looking like? What do you think?
So
what do you think team wise? What do you think?
Yeah, and
What
I
do you
got
think
one
we
more
can-
question
what do you
after
think we
that
can do?
before we go.
Okay. What do you mean?
Just like, I don't know. Maybe we could scare some teams the second.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
if we all peak,
Absolutely.
we got some talent.
We have talent, and it's just gonna be putting it all together. I think that's kind of what everybody's looking for. As far as team wise, is you got obviously we have a boatload of good golfers on the team. We just have to find the 5 that are in their prime at the same time, and if we can do that, then we'll be just fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree. That one.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask was more related to, well, it's a 2-part question.
Okay.
One is for the junior golfer listening to this, what would be like your advice to them coming up? Like what are some of the steps you would take? And then the follow-up question would be like, what would you have done different in your career?
Junior golf, man. There's so much time that they have, I believe, that I'd say, like, if you really want it, you got to go get it. Nothing's going to be handed to you. Just if you set your goals on something, then don't be afraid to go get it. Don't be afraid to, push yourself to the limits and really see what you can be. Because, like you said, there's so many, at this point in time, there's so many kids nowadays, like, who are so young that are the best at what they do. You look at Akshay, like that dude's gonna be a stud. He already is a stud,
right?
But he's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? There's no limit to what they can do. There's no limit to what you can do. Self belief is a massive key for me. I believe. I was kind of raised, and I believe it 100% that if you put kind of like a goal for yourself, and you want to achieve that, you can do whatever you want to. You can do whatever you want to do. There's no limitations to that aspect of life. And So
any specifics like what you would get? Like, should they play a lot of tournaments? Should they play certain tournaments? The team they should build around them. Like what would you? If a kid comes to you, and it's going to happen.
Oh, I've got a few kids,
and I'm sure kids are coming to you now. Like, hey, I want to play Division I golf.
Yeah.
What should I be doing?
Okay. I think it's more, playing a lot of tournaments, playing as much tournaments as you possibly can. Get that kind of exposure for yourself. I think stuff that I've seen. I've got a kid he's a sophomore in high school, and dude can be as good as he wants to be. Just short game, and that's some things that I don't think young kids really understand, because I didn't understand it until, I probably got until about junior year of high school. Was like, that putting makes a lot of money for you if you really think about it. I say just fundamentally sound stuff like that, but short game is really the key, especially going forward. Play, like I said, playing a lot of tournaments. I was a big. I didn't like AJGA stuff. I didn't like how the system worked. But obviously, if you're you kind of need it if you want to go big.
It depends on where you want to go play, right? I mean, I
Exactly.
think that's the thing we learned was
Yeah, for sure.
if you got a, I mean, yeah, you get it, and I totally agree with.
Just the system
it's
is
a bit of a
fraudulent, in my
scam,
opinion.
right? But
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of players, like for instance, Davis Bateman didn't play really any.
yeah, but he wanted to play in North
But
Carolina.
he wanted to play local.
Yeah, it
so-
wasn't like he wanted to leave,
Yeah.
right? So, but like Henry, he wanted to play out west, so he
Yeah.
had to go play AJGAs in Oregon and California and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So it's just it.
But yeah.
It's an exposure
It-
thing.
it-
really-
Absolutely.
100%.
Like, it's another brand.
if you want,
type
coaches aren't going to come across the country to see you
Yeah.
unless
Right.
you're top 5 in the country or something like that. So,
Right,
and I
right.
think what we've learned, and you probably find this as well, is just how many connections you have to make with coaches and how the frequency.
And that was another thing I was about to get into.
Yeah,
Is like,
you-
don't be afraid to put yourself out there to
got
coaches.
to.
Send to me. I was lucky. My dad. He half owns this company. It's called CSA Prep Star. It's just a recruiting service basically, and it's around the country. But like they send it, like you pay whatever for it, and they send you put a resume, put whatever you want on their videos, whatever. They send it to the coaches for you. Certain packages or whatever, do a certain amount a year or whatever. But yeah, so like that's another thing. Like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Go on as many visits you possibly can. Talk to as many coaches as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
that's great advice.
Especially if that's something that you actually want to do. Yeah. So I mean, there's because what's the worst thing that they're going to do is not respond.
Say no.
Either not respond or
You know what I
they're
mean?
going to
Say
say
no.
sorry. Like,
What
Yeah.
is and
We're
then,
full.
and then yeah, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. There's no telling how many times that I've
You
sent.
can't be
emails.
afraid to get rejected.
Absolutely not.
That's a great.
That's
really-
that's a life experience.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
That's a
sure.
great point right
With
there.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will knows best.
very cool. All right, so we can't leave the pod without asking the final question,
I know what you're talking about.
right? So it's
I've warned you on this one.
Okay.
it's
You
one
know
that
it.
it's one that we ask every guest, and
Okay.
it's a very important question,
Yeah.
and we want details of why the question is answered the way it's answered, and it is, if you could get a message out to the world,
Mm-hmm.
when we say billions of people, and put it on a metaphorical billboard,
Yeah.
what would that message be and why? What would your billboard say?
I think I told you a couple weeks ago it was a
You
word,
did.
but it can be a statement. Or,
You can do whatever. Yeah, it's your billboard. Like
Okay.
it's you paid for this your brand, and what does Willbrook stand for and want to get to the world?
The first, whenever you said, Nick told me about it. I
You
think
can have more than one too. By the way, you can have more
Yeah.
than one billboard. I've had that.
the
a couple
first
times.
the first thing that popped into mind was like just a self belief kind of instance. And that was just a word. Because he told me it was just a word. So I guess I'll go with that, just self belief. Because I mean, I'm a huge, absolutely huge believer of you can do anything you want to do if you believe in yourself. If you actually believe in yourself that you're gonna be able to do it. I don't think there's anything that can stop you if you actually 100% believe that you can do it and are willing to put the work into it. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'll have to go with. As far as I don't know a statement, I don't.
That's fine. No, that's
Okay.
perfect. That's perfect. If that's what sort of what you live by, I think it's fantastic.
that's I mean that's that's kind of been the way that I've kind of grown up, and because like I said, I've had my support system from Cookeville, but outside of that, I don't think anybody really would expect someone from a white boy ginger from Cookeville to be where I'm at, and so yeah, that's kind of been me and my crew who
Yeah,
actually know what I'm capable of. So
I like it.
That's kind of my motto.
That's the way to go.
Absolutely.
So, tell the listeners sort of how to get a hold of you. What are your social platforms?
So Twitter, WillBrooks9, Instagram, WillBrooks_7, and
I don't know if you want to put your snap or not.
No, you don't have to put Snap.
I didn't put
That's
it.
for the girls that want to reach out. Once they
DM
are there
this
any?
man.
If there,
once the LP drops, Little
yeah,
Cheeto.
just if you want,
You wanna hit 'em up.
EP, bro.
The EP.
Trust
Not
me, the
LP.
EP. If the EP is successful enough, it'll be on the Instagram, so you don't have to worry about that one.
That's awesome, man. Well, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been for me to get to know
It's
you
been an honor for me.
and to watch you play, and then I'm really excited to see what happens here in the future.
Yes, sir.
But thanks for taking the time, man. It was great stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.